This is Ellen Stewart, the Pushy Broad from the Bronx, saying, remember, everybody needs a little push.
From the Pushy Broad from the Bronx, New York.
Welcome, Transformation Talk Network listeners. My name is Ellen Stewart, and I am the Pushy Broad from the Bronx. Welcome to my show, Recovery Recharged, where I share advice and support from experts in addiction and recovery. This podcast episode is for everybody that is newly sober, and I know the summer's coming, and I know many of you have come out of treatment. I know many of you are getting out of college or high school, or you're taking a summer vacation, and everybody's thinking, how am I going to stay sober through all of this? And then there are those of you in early recovery who have 30 days, 60 days, 90 days sober, even 6 months to a year sober, and all of a sudden, you don't know who you are. You think your whole world is turned upside down, and you're so uncomfortable that the who I am now question is the biggest question on your mind. So I'm going to take this opportunity and help you figure that out today. If we can get one step closer to finding out who you are when you're sober, you've got a greater chance of staying clean and sober. Take it from the Pushy Broad. So I have a list of the most popular questions that have come to me from people just like you who are thinking, who am I without those substances and how do I live my daily life? My producer Jessica is going to ask me those questions and I will do my best to give you the answers that you need. So, Jessica, give me the first question, please.
First things first, then, how do I figure out who I am without substances?
Well, is really simple. I'm going to give you a Pushy Broad approach, okay? You're the same person, all right? You don't wake up in the morning and all of a sudden you have morphed into another person, all right? There's no body snatcher that is coming from a different planet and made you you. You're the same person, but with a clearer map. You know that song, I Can See Clearly Now, right? The rain is gone. I can see clearly now. The fog has been lifted. You can see clearly. Everything is more vibrant. Everything is clearer. You start by listing the strengths that you have, that you consider to be strengths, right? I am smart. I am pretty. I am a good athlete. All of the little strengths, even the smallest one, like I have white teeth. I have a brand new apartment. Whatever it is, every little single thing that makes you different than you were the day before. Jessica, next question.
What daily habits do you suggest to help me become the person I want to be?
The biggest thing is, I tell my clients all the time, three big things. Accountability. Do I take accountability for my own actions? Right? Am I accountable for the stuff that I'm responsible for? Accountability, structure. Do I have some kind of routine? Do I get up in the morning, go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, get in the shower, get dressed, take my vitamins, go for a run? Whatever the morning routine is, do I do it diligently? Accountability, structure. Do I have structure to my day? And balance. How do I balance work and play? How do I balance productivity with rest? All of those three things, making it a daily mission to uphold accountability, structure, and balance. And if you can keep those three words in the first and foremost of your brain, I'm telling you right now, this will help you be able to keep daily habits a reality. Next question.
How do I find purpose or meaning now that drinking or using isn't central?
It's so funny to think that the purpose and meaning we had in life was when we were drunk. Was that where your purpose lied? The whole idea of I need to get high and I need to find out how to get high as much as I possibly can, that was our purpose. But that really was not purpose at all, was it really? How soon can I get my hands on drugs? How soon can I get high? How soon is it the weekend? Where do I find my next fix? That's not purpose. That's craziness. So now what's your purpose? Let's try a couple of things. Do you have a hobby? Do you want to take a class? Do you want to volunteer? Do you want to turn around and see who's in your household? Do you want to take another look at your kids? Do you want to maybe invest in yourself? How do I change my mind, body, and spirit to make myself feel better? Do I need a makeover? Do I need to work on my physique? Do I need to get nutrition? Do I need to go on a diet? Do I need to go to doctors? If you work on daily habits and daily structure, guess what? Purpose comes. It just comes. Much better than how do I get my next drink or drug? For sure. Okay, Jessica, next question.
Which values should I use as a compass for change?
Pick anyone. I like honesty, I like connection, and I like growth. And those three things are really important to make this happen. Maybe you want to say every single day the things that you're grateful for. Maybe you want to turn around to the next conversation that you have and not try to exaggerate about it, but you really want to tell the truth. And you begin demanding truth and honesty from other people. Maybe you want to get out there for a change because staying in active addiction is to isolate. Now we want connection. So go out, go to the movies, go see friends, go have dinner. Find the people you used to connect to that were not concerned about where they were picking up their next drink or drug. Write down, maybe start journaling what each day you want to look like. And then at the end of the day, what you actually did. Test your behaviors, see what works and see what you're comfortable with. Jessica, next question.
How do I rebuild trust with family and friends?
You know, every time I hear that, I say the same thing. Stop worrying about the family. You're never going to be able to apologize enough for the hell you put them through. Okay? You're never going to be able to apologize enough. Actions speak louder than words. Trust means I can be honest and I can live up to my duties and responsibilities as an individual. I can carry out my day-to-day activities. I can do the things that makes me a responsible adult or a responsible adolescent or young adult, and that automatically becomes an apology. I can become considerate and kind and patient. And the more I work on me, the more trust I will earn. Trust is earned. And I have to be that person that qualifies as someone to be trusted. Jessica, next question.
What small goals give the biggest momentum in early sobriety?
Every single goal is achievable. Every single small little goal is real. Okay. For me, getting up in the morning, brushing my teeth, getting into the shower, picking out my clothes, putting my makeup on. In the beginning, those were major things. And even today, I think I have a good day if I've taken my vitamins, if I've done my exercise, if I have dressed well enough to present myself to my clients and to you. Those are good goals. And every one of those gives me momentum to do the next goal. I have 40 years clean and sober, but I am no different than the person that has one day clean and sober. And everybody in recovery will tell you that. The difference between me and you is that I know how to adjust to things a little faster. That's all. But I still go through the same anxieties and the same fears and the same addiction worries and the same feelings of how do I make it through the day? One day at a time. Maybe I have a sleep schedule. Maybe I have a sober social plan. All of these things. Maybe I'm learning one day at a time to be 1% better than I was the day before. And I'm telling you, over time, before I knew it, 40 years went by. Jessica, next question.
How do I replace old social routines tied to using?
That's a big deal. You don't tell somebody in the very beginning here, we want you to stay clean and sober for the rest of your life. Okay? Any addict that hears that they have to stay clean and sober, or any alcoholic that hears, I have to stay clean and sober for the rest of my life and change everything in my life to make that work, immediately says, there's no way I'm doing that. Everybody's the same. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody can make promises. I can't make a promise to you that I'm not going to drink tomorrow. The only thing I know is that I'm not drinking today. And I am not running into a bar to test that feeling, to test that. Okay? I know my limitations. When we're in active addiction, we have no idea what our limitations are because we're not talking to ourselves rationally. In addition to which, if you decide that you want recovery more than anything else because you love the feeling, because you understand that that's part of life that you don't want to give up, being honest with yourself, growing, having good friends, having real experiences far outweighs any of the best high you've ever had in your life, it's easy to turn away from those triggers. It's easy. But during the summer when everybody's around and you're partying and you're going out to the Hamptons or you're going out to Fire Island or you're partying on the West Coast or wherever you're partying, I need you to bring a sober buddy with you and I need you not to test your resolve. If you're on shaky ground, protect yourself. Do the adult thing. Protect yourself from triggers. And let me tell you one more thing. There's so much great non-alcoholic stuff out there. Mocktails are a big thing. There are recipes all over the place. Non-alcoholic beer. If I want a hot dog with mustard and sauerkraut, I'll have a Heineken Zero or a Coors Zero, or Stella Artois came out with a zero beer. You can put anything in your hand that looks like alcohol if you're embarrassed, and nobody would know the difference. So you can do that now. We couldn't do that before. So you can stay true to yourself. You just have to decide if you want to. You can stay true to your sobriety. Jessica, next question.
When do you know if therapy is needed in addition to coaching?
Well, I can tell you right now that you first should be calling Pushy Broad from the Bronx and going to the website, pushybroadfromthebronx.com, and making an appointment for a free consultation. And I'll even throw in a free 1-hour session with me if you do it. Okay? This is the time. And then if you need therapy, we'll talk about it and I'll help direct you to the right therapist. If other things are going on in addition to your sobriety, then chances are you do need a therapist. But I promise you, we'll take a good assessment and see if there's trauma in your life, if there's PTSD, if your meds are central in your existence, and then I will direct you to the right therapist, and then I will work hand in hand with your therapist. Because it takes a village, doesn't it? Jessica, next question.
How do I handle boredom and rediscover joy?
One of the things I hear all the time, if I had $1 for every time somebody said to me, how am I going to have fun if I'm not drinking? How am I going to have fun if I'm not drinking? And I say to myself, and I say to them, you'll first begin to have fun if you're not drinking. Because before you were in some kind of purple haze and you never knew anything about how to have a good time. You only knew how to make an idiot of yourself because that came easy. You only knew how to fall asleep on people. You only knew that everybody was drinking, but you were drinking more. Or everybody was doing drugs and you were doing more. So find a way to find the joy in every single little thing. Because the moment you have that natural high, believe it or not, joy comes easy. Because you're not worried about where the next drink is. You're not worried about how I get it and when I get it and how am I okay until I get it the next time. I promise you, you won't be bored. I promise you, there's joy waiting around the corner. Really big joy that you've never experienced in your life. Aren't you ready for it? Jessica, next question.
What's a realistic 90-day reinvention plan?
Well, that's a big deal, and I'm going to talk a lot about it if you call me and do a session with me. But I'm telling you right now, I work 90 days. The first 90 days, you talk to me every single day. We help stabilize you. We help try 2 or 3 new activities. We find the fit and the value that really responds to you because every single recovery plan is unique to you, and we make sure that you stay in accountability, structure, and balance. The most important thing. You can stay clean and sober. You really can. But understand the way the program works. One day at a time. All I'm asking you today is to decide that you're not going to pick up a drink or a drug, and you're going to find something else that you're grateful for and that you love and that you care about. I want to see you safe and healthy this summer. So go to pushybroadfromthebronx.com and let me help you make sobriety and sober living a sustainable reality.
How do I set boundaries with people who still use?
Yeah, that's a big thing. I did my last show on being in a relationship with someone who still uses. Believe it or not, that's the biggest reason you take a big fall. That's the biggest reason that clients relapse. When they are surrounded by people that still use, and one of those people is your spouse or your partner. That's a really big deal. It takes a tremendous amount of resolve. And sometimes it doesn't work. I got to be honest with you. Sometimes it doesn't. And that means you have to decide how much sobriety is really, really important to you. We can't sacrifice ourselves for another human being. That's not only a key to major relapse, but that's also the addiction of codependency. If you respond and you are worried about keeping another person happy, if you are staying in a relationship that you know deep down, even though you don't want to admit it, is so toxic that it's killing you, then you have to take a very serious look at what's going on, okay? And you have to turn around and say to yourself, what am I going to do here? I have to put my oxygen mask on first. So you can say something like, you know, I care about you. We've been dating for a while or we're living together, but I can't be around using. So I'll be here when you're sober. And you can say it, but I need you to act on it. Because you can turn around and say all of those things, and if you don't do anything about it, it doesn't carry any weight, and your partner or your friend or your spouse does not believe you, and you're right back into the cycle of mistrust, and it's a very short time before you have no boundaries and you're back to relapsing. And that's a real and ever-present threat. So if you're dealing with that, you better be looking at Pushy Broad from the Bronx to help you navigate that difficult situation. Next question, please.
How can I use setbacks as learning, not failure?
You know, I always say we make a lot of mistakes, and that's fine because we're human. We're making a lot of mistakes, but it's our job to make new mistakes, not the same mistakes over and over and over again. So if setbacks are a mistake, it's always a learning curve. I always learn more from mistakes. My clients always learn more from mistakes. I don't know, call it a data point. What led to it? What warning signs were missed? Let's analyze it. I always talk about when that happens, taking myself out of the play, putting myself in the audience and saying, what am I doing and why am I doing it? What happened here? Can I analyze without emotions what happened so that I can objectively critique it, learn from it, process it, and move forward so that I find that the particular action is preventable or changeable. Next question, Jessica.
How do I build a new social circle that supports sobriety?
One step at a time, one day at a time. I know it sounds cliche and redundant, but that's the only way we do it. We take one step at a time. That's how we go. We can't get to the other side of the room without taking one step at a time. I can't travel to a foreign country without taking one step at a time. I can't make any strides in anything I'm doing without taking the first step first. So, in order to build a social circle, you start out by finding one person, by going to a sober meetup of any kind, whether it's recovery, whether it's a class, whether it's talking to someone that you know doesn't have an affinity for alcohol or drugs, any of those things. And right now on the net, you can find anything you need. You can find sober activities. You can find sober parties. You can find all kinds of things. All you need is to find one person that you can say hello to. And then one person may become many people. One step at a time. A journey is made up of 1,000 steps. Start with one friend. Okay? Jessica, next question.
What financial or vocational steps support a new identity?
There are a lot of logistics to this. Some people have to change everything, and maybe sometimes that happens all at once. There are so many people that go into treatments and they have been fired from their jobs because of their drinking and drugging, or they have been sent to prison because something happened involving substance misuse, or they are on the verge of, or they are in the middle of, or they have actually completed a divorce or a breakup, or they have lost someone and they're grieving based on what has happened to them. So a variety of things have happened that are life-changing situations. That's what happens to the life of an addict. Sooner or later, in getting help, some life-changing situation has actually occurred. So we have to start from square one. Maybe we have put ourselves in so much debt because all we needed was the drink or the drug, and it cost us so much money that our bills are flying all over the place, that we are on the verge of bankruptcy, that we can hardly pay our rent, and we have no work. So let's try to clean up one bill at a time. Let's try to see if we can find any work. Maybe not the best work in the world, maybe not your dream job, but a job. Maybe we can see about just doing one small thing, calling up our creditors and trying to negotiate with them so we can lower the interest rates and lower the payments for a short period of time. Maybe we can put a resume together, and the Pushy Broad from the Bronx can help you with all of these things and see what we're actually good at. And maybe we've got a new list of transferable skills. And maybe we can try one short training or something, some kind of class that will give us a new interest or a new affinity to do something. Or maybe we're fortunate enough to do a volunteer work of some kind so that we can move into a completely different profession. We are never, ever, ever stuck. We're only stuck if we choose to be stuck. There are so many people that start from zero. But the best thing about this is we do get to start over because there are so many people that don't make it. So the fact that you're getting to start over is so hopeful. And I need you to look at it that way.
How do I keep my recovery sustainable long term?
Everybody says, I don't think I'll ever, ever, ever be able to not drink or drug ever again. I just have to do it for now. I can't even think about doing it down the road. And behavior modification techniques tells us we can't think about doing it down the road. I can tell you recovery is sustainable, but it's recovery sustainability that happens one day at a time. Just like a diet is sustainable one day at a time. Just like keeping up a habit in exercise. I'm going to do Tai Chi walking every single day, or I'm going to make sure that I walk around the block 10 times, or I'm going to take my vitamins. It's the same thing with recovery. We start with daily goals. And then daily goals automatically turns into weekly goals, and weekly goals, monthly goals, and that's how the time goes. We may want to help. We may want to assist ourselves and become accountability to ourselves, to a team, to a coach. Find other ways. Recovery is not the opposite of addiction. Recovery means connection with community, connection with our peers, connection with the world. If one plan doesn't work, revise that plan. Don't abandon it. Don't give up hope. Recovery is sustainable, long-term, one day at a time. Call the Pushy Broad. She's here to help you. Pushy Broad from the Bronx. This is Ellen Stewart saying thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
She's the pushy broad from the Bronx, New York. Follow her voice, a straight dog is nice. She's the pushy broad from the Bronx, oh yeah. Don't be surprised if you wanna listen twice. Make decisions, find the right choice. Know yourself better, find your own voice. It's okay if you need help today, cause everybody needs a little push. From the pushy broad from the Bronx, New York.